My friends, we talk a lot about male-female relationships on this channel, and lately I've had a few videos that were aimed more at women, but so many guys have told me that they've benefited a lot from those videos. And today we're going to talk about another ugly truth that might upset women and probably some men. But first, make sure you're subscribed to this channel. Make sure you click that bell icon so you don't miss out on all the good new stuff that we have coming for you. There's a natural cycle to life where things get better and better, stronger and stronger, till they reach a point where they peak. And then from there, they start to go down, down, until eventual death. I remember when I was doing sports growing up, when I was 13, 14, 15, and my dad would say, enjoy this time of your life. With each coming birthday, you get better and better, because eventually there's going to come a time in your life where with each birthday you get worse and worse and worse. And this cycle of things getting better and better until they get worse and worse and die, this is true whether you're talking about people, animals, plants, corporations, and there's probably no better example of that than MySpace. Look at how big that got. But now look at it, it's basically dead. And what you see a lot, especially in very superficial places like Los Angeles, you see a lot of young ladies and some men that they bank very heavily on their looks and their physical attractiveness. And there's nothing wrong with being good looking. We should be trying to make ourselves look as good as we can. But when you put all your eggs in that basket, what you see a lot is young people, they don't really think about the future and they don't really anticipate that change that's going to come in life. So you see a lot of young ladies that they have the world is their oyster, and there's men that will take them out, spend money on them, buy things with them, but then they get to a point where they reach their expiration date. A lot of women don't realize that they have a sell-by date, which is usually around 30 years old, where they get less and less appealing to men from a point of physical beauty. I used to have a very successful modeling career, and I saw this a lot. I'd work with a lot of very successful female models, and by the way, female models generally get paid a lot more than male models, which kind of throws that gender pay gap myth right out the window. But anyways, these female models, they would have these great careers and have the life, but what would happen is when they get to about 23, 24, 25, they were kind of looked at as old and people didn't want to hire them anymore. Now, at least with men, they can keep working as models and just kind of transition into a different type of model and generally have more longevity at least. So what am I saying to you? What's your point? My point is you have to find a way to make yourself more valuable. Now, generally, this isn't as big of a problem for men as it is for women, because generally men, they don't bank so heavily on their looks unless they're a professional model or professional actor. Men, a lot of the times, they find other ways for their livelihood that isn't so heavily dependent on their looks. But even with men, the reality is men, when they're generally in their 40s, 50s, 60s, they're not as attractive as they were when they were 25. Now, of course, there's some exceptions to that, where some guy never got much attention and then he becomes a hot silver fox, but that's maybe 1 or 2% of guys out there. But make yourself more valuable in another way and find a way to find value out of life. A good example is even on YouTube, that's a very youth-driven thing. There's some very successful YouTubers. They're in their 40s and 50s and 60s, but their appeal isn't about just being good looking. It's about having interesting things to say, having interesting ideas that fascinate people and people can learn from. They're providing a very different type of value. And I think what we should be doing as we age and our glory days kind of fade away, that's a time to find a new value in life, provide a new value, and of course pass that along to our children. Spend time with our families, the older generations, but also focus heavily on the future generations. That's something that's going to affect people for decades to come. So my advice to you is find ways to grow and evolve and provide a different value and service as we go on. And definitely focus on your children and the future generations. But you guys might disagree with me, and that's okay. What I'm saying comes to you from a place of love and wanting things to be the best for you, but maybe you think there's a better way to achieve that. Maybe you agree with me, but go ahead, leave your comment down below, and be sure to check out our other videos. We have a lot of stuff on this channel for you. So until next time, my friends. What's my point? What am I saying? Well, the point is you can't put all your eggs in that. Excuse me. There's a fight going on back there, I guess.
They're leaving.
That's how they do it here. You're... I guess that's a little bit of Asian culture for you. The woman takes your seat, you smack her in the head until she gets out. No, don't do that.